appearing together on the same stage for the first time tonight.
I filed today my paperwork to seek the office of the Presidency of the United States today, and I'll very soon be making my formal announcement. So I wanted you to be the first to know.
That.
Just make no mistake about it. I want to announce tonight, President Obama is a one-term president.
This president has failed. And he's failed at a time when the American people counted on him to create jobs and get the economy going.
This president is a declinist. He views America as one of equals around the world. We're not the same as Portugal. We're not the same as Argentina. And this idea that we can't have 5% growth in America is hogwash. It's a defeatist attitude.
This economy is stalled. It's like a train on the tracks with no engine. And the administration has simply been putting all of this money in the caboose. We need an engine called the private sector.
The Obama administration is an anti-jobs, anti-business, anti-American energy, destructive force, and we shouldn't talk about what we do in 2013. The Congress this year, this next week, ought to repeal the Dodd-Frank bill. They ought to repeal the Sarbanes-Oxley bill. They ought to start creating jobs right now, because for those 14 million Americans, this is a depression now.
Yeah, I think we need a president who's optimistic, who has a pro-growth agenda. I'm not going to comment on 5% or 4%. What we need is an economy that's unshackled. And what's happened in this administration is that they have passed oppressive policy and oppressive regulation after Obamacare being first and foremost.
Obamacare takes $500 billion out of Medicare and funds Obamacare. We, of course, didn't do that. And finally, ours was a state plan, a state solution, and if people don't like it in our state, they can change it. That's the nature of why states are the right place for this type of responsibility. And that's why I introduced a plan to repeal Obamacare and replace it with a state-centric program.
The Tea Party is really made up of disaffected Democrats, independents, people who've never been political a day in their life, people who are libertarians, Republicans. It's a wide swath of America coming together. I think that's why the left fears it so much, because they're people who simply want to take the country back.
First of all, you control the border. We can ask the National Guard to go to Iraq. We asked the National Guard to go to Kuwait. We asked the National Guard to go to Afghanistan. Somehow we would have done more for American security if we had had the National Guard on the border.
Our national security is not enhanced by our presence over there. We have no purpose there. We should learn the lessons of history, and the longer we're there, the worse things are, and the more danger we're in as well, because our presence there is not making friends, let me tell you.
Right. 10 years after 9/11, our intelligence is so inadequate that we have no idea what % of the Libyan rebels are in fact al-Qaeda.